four-man mosh pit followed by Entomb. Oh no!
Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're gonna follow up, and they're gonna get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's gonna be everybody dying. Oh my God! When does this happen? Everybody's dead.
I forgot to pause my music. Damn it. This is what I get for not streaming in a little bit, but hi. It is me, the Line Boss, once again back at it with that casting. I was originally meant to be casting a actual series this evening, but it turns out I have prior commitments, which, fair enough, it will stop me obviously from casting at the same time if I'm elsewhere. So here we are. I went, you know what? I'm getting pretty close to hitting 70 casts this season, so might as well do some more replays, get a few knocked out this morning. Like, at least 3, maybe 4, depending how the series go. I'm not quite sure. But we do have ReGen Divine facing Pepegas on Ice for Division... Not E-East. B-East. There we go. Let's get that fixed up right now. And we do see, in terms of map bans, ReGen Divine banned out Braxis Holdout and Tomb of Spider Queen. Meanwhile, Pepegas on Ice banned out that Cursed Hollow and Towers of Doom. So, a lot more team fighting maps kind of banned out by ReGen, while Pepegas on Ice banning out versus kind of more, you have to do a lot of macro with a little bit of team fight, or a lot of team fight on Towers of Doom, but definitely not as big a fan of that macro. And that leads us to Alterac, which, not too much macro choices being made. Get all the soak, take a camp on the every time it pops up, every minute and a half. But in all, it should be a good match up. I believe these guys were very close on the table during regular season. I think ReGen Divine was number 4, Pepegas and Ice were number 5. So it should be a fun series. But without much further ado, I'm going to actually get into the game. I'm going to start casting and see where we go, shall we? Hopefully the right way around, because on the left side of ReGen Divine, we have Wafflecopter on the Hanzo, Logic, Chromie, Arc Valley on the... or Arch Valley, I guess I should say. On the Space Yoshida PP Wallow on the Muradin, and Absolute Yota on the Brightwing. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see Sylphrinia on the Kael'thas, Bishop Mist on the Pew Pew Shooty Shooty Man Raynor, Jakey AZ on the Anduin, Tom Jin on his Father Variant, and meanwhile we do see bottom Torrens on a Imperius. It's not often you see Imperius. Imperius are not really known for... Like, yes, they are a bruiser, they are an offlaner, but they're not really known for their clearing capabilities, which makes this one of the better maps for him, as you do just get to fight a little bit more. We hear Chromie using those Falling Sands, getting a little bit of damage on Gate and Wave, but not too much. Yeah, so it looks like the clear advantage will be going over at least to ReGen Divine to start, but that's because Pepegas on Ice doesn't have everyone there. Obviously, they've had Bishop Mist go top already. They've had Torrens go bottom. And unfortunately for Bishop Mist, they have both a Muradin and a Dahaka running at them, which I don't know how well this is going to go for them. They're trying to get back to the gate. They do dodge the tongue. They do have the rest of the team coming up to help them. They lived long enough. We do see a nice burrow by Archvale, however, it cancels Brightwing's face. You have to Kael'thas bomb on them, and they will go down. That's first blood of the game, going over to the side of Pepegas on Ice. Nicely done. And meanwhile, we can see camps are up. Time to go. And Chromie's just getting bullied out by Torrens a little bit. And I'm going to have a look at talents while we're here. So, Enhanced Agility Dahaka, pretty standard. Muradin with that ever difficult to complete quest at that baseline of Stormbolt. Heaven forbid we see that get completed today, I don't know. We also do see the Simple Geometry Hanzo. Meanwhile, we do also have just one questing talent for Pepegas and Ice, being the Mana Shield Kael'thas, which, fair enough, that ups his survivability a lot, and is not the heal on trait, which is kind of doo-doo. Well, actually, heal on trait comes in at level... Yeah, it's level 1, I'm pretty sure. I can't quite remember, I don't play Kael'thas too much. He's not my preferred mage. My preferred mage is definitely Chromie, who didn't actually go either of the quests. Great restraint by Chromie. I love going the quests. It may not be the right choice, but I love going them on Chromie. Like, that Falling Sands quest, oh... Sorry, that Dragon Breath quest, I should say. Oh, if you hit, like, at least 2 of those, someone's gonna die, like, 90% of the time. I had a moment playing her yesterday where we got 7 stacks with 1 W, and I'm like, oh, amazing, love it. You just love seeing that. I love seeing that at least. But we do get a lot of aggression coming out from the free man of Pepegas on ice, I should say. We can see if it may be hunting for a kill. Speaking about hunting for a kill, Bishop missed as the one in trouble. Getting, yeah, just slowly whittled down just to be finished off in the end by a Hanzo Q. And that is a kill going over to the side of ReGen Divine. Just evening up that kill total, but not quite evening up the experience. Meanwhile, Jakey has come up to clear. We do see a taunt coming out. We do see a lot of damage. And before Hanzo could even flip, before they could even get a phase shift on them, they did. Unfortunate, but they are dead. Right, let me just do something as I'm going to pop it here. Muradin gets out, nice and safe. Excellent. Sorry, give me a moment. And we do see people getting hit. We do see now that the side of ReGen Divine is pushing and taunt coming out onto the Hanzo. Hanzo once again not able to escape and neither phase shift able to go off in time. Meanwhile, keep in mind that Dahaka is soaking up to 7. Imperius is going to try to get 7 on the way up, but camp is already found. The cavalry will be going over to the side of Pepegas on ice. Which, well done, Pepegas on ice. First match cruise. Sorry about this. I'm just trying to get myself in order, as we do see that it is just Bishop Miss Middle, but Tom Jen, Jakey, and Sylphrenia join them in the end. Right, they do have a cavalry pushing in. Now, no one's pushing with top, so the top one won't get too much value. And actually will be missing out on a little bit of decent amount of soak there as well, that also passive XP. Muradin's been standing still a while, hasn't really been allowed to move. We do see them jump out. The spell armor from Chromie just making sure they can't get blown up out of nowhere. We do see them pushing up now to see what they can do. But Muradin once again take a lot of damage any phase shift to use on top of him. But spell armor can only do so much. Unfortunately, bullets are not magic. Well, when I was young, they were magic to me. I don't know how they were used. I'm like, oh man, fire make metal go fast. That is my whole what's the word I'm looking for? Dissection? Bisection? My understanding of a world when I was young was very simple, to say the least. I'm talking about quite young as well. I'm not talking about like 8, I'm talking about like 4. Because guns aren't really a thing, too much of a thing in New Zealand. I know, oh yeah, that's why. I was like, I don't know why I'm getting distracted. Reyno's why I'm getting distracted. He doesn't use magic, he just used bullets. Well, science, I guess I should say, because him and the Fire know how he just has like this on-demand healing thing. He can inspire people to shoot faster. That may be magic, but or it may just be very good charisma. I love a good charisma statted hero. I guess Reyno would be Dex charisma. All I know is Reyno is in trouble. Bishop Miss getting the Q off. Gets pulled in time by JKAZ and will survive. Meanwhile, we do see this mid-camp pushing in slowly into ReGen Divine's fort. Tom Jen decides to fully go in. Gets hit by 2 bits of sand for his efforts. And actually, it looks like he went the charge talent. Yep, he went Warbringer at level 10. But speaking about heroics coming online at level 10, we do have Light Bomb and Wind. We do have the Hyperion on Raynor. Kael'thas going the Phoenix, fair enough. Wrath and then Garrus on Imperius. I have mixed feelings about it, but they're usually pretty good. Usually the people who use it are definitely more practiced at using it than I am. And Taunt Variant was picked up level 4. Meanwhile, on the other side of ReGen Divine, we have the Blink-Heal Brightwing, the... what's that called? Isolation Dahaka, Avatar Muradin, Slowing Sounds and Chromie was picked up at level 8. And the Dragon Arrow Hanzo. So, leaning more into the stun than the actual, quote, damage, end quote, that Dragon Strike provides. Also, sorry if you hear my water picking up. I'm just trying to make sure I keep, my fluids up today. Just gonna make sure I don't kill my throat today. Oh, Hanzo died. Where did... How's it die like Hirish? I missed it entirely, so sorry. Right, we do now see they are posturing to fight out. We see Chromie using her Hourglass. Nice stun by Muradin as well. Tomjin taking a decent amount, running up to Chromie, getting a taunt off. They should coming out Logic going back to basically full health. Meanwhile, PP Wolo taking a lot of damage for their efforts, getting stuck in spot, manages to not run into the Flame Strike as many others would do in that position. Smart with you, PP Wolo. Goes back in. Chromie stepping up. Logic getting a nice long stand. Do you see the Dragon Arrow coming out of nowhere? Wafflecopter and Co killing the Raynor. Meanwhile, we can see Arch Valley knocking Sylphrinia and Jakey AZ back in. Tomjin getting chased by PP Wolo. Jakey, however, will be the one going down. Sylphrinia soon to follow. And that's 2 kills for this side of... Well, actually 3 kills for the side of ReGen Nebula. Not Nebula. That's later. ReGen Divine. There's too many ReGen teams. I actually think there's less this season than there has been previously as well. I think there's 3, 4 ReGen teams? I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head. ReGen's not necessarily something I know about that confidently. Also, I will say as a side note, there is actually no delay today. Well, that was a dumb thing to be a search. I was never going to show the right. We see people Wolo being chased by Bishop Miss making sure that they get the camp back in their favor, which they do. Meanwhile, the 3 men of Pepegas on Ice, 3 men of ReGen Divine, I should say, are doing camp bottom. Bishop Miss now in an awkward spot. But no, it looks like Sylphrinia is there to help them, and Anduin and the very not too far away. Actually, everyone is coming down now. Torrens falls short with that spear, which that's fine, because we're just going to need a clear of that boss and ready to defend the objective as it comes to it. Because this boss already kind of low enough to where you can just slowly stall it out. Imagine we'll see Phoenix popped on the objective to slow down the cap of it. No, they just confidently right in. I like it. PP Wolo clearing the minions as best they can. Taunt coming out, Root coming out. That's Muradin stuck in the wrong place for a while. We do see Spear coming out. However, it doesn't hit PP Wolo. Well, Absolute Yota does blink out. Nice 5-man stun by Wafflecopter. But no, that's Muradin going down first. Arch Valley is going to have to try their best to be the off-tank here in this regard. Does get hit by Spear by Torrens and will go down. Meanwhile, Wafflecopter is in danger now. However, Tomjin is very low. Goes down to Wafflecopter's auto attack. Absolute Yoda trying to get out to safety. Wafflecopter does dodge the follow-up E from Kael'thas as well. They may have been dead as well. And that was a 2-for-1 in favor of Pepegas on Ice. So I guess, yeah, 1 for 2 if you're going by them. But we do see now that Jakey is going to start channeling the objective, and they do get it in their favor. Give me a moment. Teams. Right, so Sylphrinia are very low. I'm surprised they're staying around. If a Muradin jumps on them, if it's something to follow up, they are in danger. Speaking of which, there's a jump, there's a damage. No follow-up, however, so they will live another day. Camps are up. It's thing to know. No one's going to be doing them. I saw Chromie there for a brief moment going, oh, maybe they're going to do it. No, they are not. They're just going to run the long way and make sure that, well, no one dies. Swinging back to the left. PP Wolo getting ran down. Nice hammer, meaning they get to lift. Oh, it's full ReGen tips. And we do see Tomjin taking a lot of damage. I'm wondering if that shield wall may have been the pick here, because we're just taking a lot of damage from Chromie consistently. Nice pull by JKZ. However, the Brightwing auto attack follows them into Jakey's arms and will take them out. Meanwhile, Logic is very low. We do see they use the timeout to cleanse the Living Bomb off of them, which, fair enough. And we do see now... Oh, Sylphrinia tries to stall, I should say, but wasn't quite there in time. PP Waller taking damage. Logic having to back out. Does dodge the Q from Sylphrinia. And Camp, once again, is retaken by Pepegas and Ice. So this is very close camps. 0.5 seconds between them. Basically, if someone gets 1 or 2 kills... an advantage to the other team this time, it will go over to them, but we'll have to wait to see how that goes. So Frenia is... Nope. I was like, well, I was thinking about pushing up, but no, we will not get that. As Chromie uses her reveal, catches out, finds both Tomjin and Sylphrinia. We see Tomjin getting hit with a hammer. Torrens, meanwhile, wanting to go behind for the kill. Doesn't quite spear in. We do have PP Wolo trying not to spread bomb. Tomjin going in on Wafflecopter. However, his follow-up wasn't there for them. They will actually go down to the Hanzo. Meanwhile, we do see that Wrath of Anguirus coming out. However, that is Imperius taking too much damage. Bishop misses, the next one getting chased down. Root from Jakey finding its target. Meanwhile, we do see that Sylphrenia goes down on the bridge. And that will be 3 kills to the side of ReGen Divine. I nearly called him ReGen Ghost. That's a completely different ReGen team. Okay, I'm just going to call them ReGen Nebula, and then we've done the full circle of ReGen teams this season. Because everyone loves a full circle of teams. But I think this is the first objective that goes over to the side of ReGen Divine. It'll be good to see what they use of this. They have a pretty good pushing power between their kind of 5 heroes they have on the map. We do see bot fort go down. Mid fort being pushed into just now. Right. Arrow being scatter being thrown in. PP Wallow just trying to hold high to make sure they being Pepegas and Eyes can't get too much damage on it. We see the objective is just hitting the fort. Now Dahaka's pushing top. They don't need to come down immediately, but we do see that is the cavalry down. Taunt coming out onto PP Wallow. Then a stun, then a root, then a stun, then a stun. They hold on. Spell armor, 55 spell armor, doing so much to keep them alive there. Phase shift putting them up. They may have been dead without it, but no, they get to hold on. And then we see an isolation coming out onto the Varian. Jakey getting the pull off of him. Tom Gen still has that little reduction in vision, but will survive. Speaking about survival, that will be the Imperius not quite doing that and going down. Unfortunately for the side of Pepegas and Eyes, because this may now just be ReGen Divine's fort, because we see Archvalley pushing up, I should say, not poking up. So Frenia getting a little bit aggressive. Archvalley spreading the bomb to Wafflecopter. Wafflecopter's like, hey man, what the hell? Jakey getting unnecessarily aggressive. Speaking of unnecessarily aggressive, we see Sylphrenia as the next one in danger. Small pull from Jakey AZ, keeping Sylphrenia alive, and they do great in that regard. Sylphrenia probably a little bit uncomfortable there with how close that was going to be. We do see camp being started. I just realized it's still Friday for America, isn't it? Oh well. It happens. Siege camp being taken by the side of Pepegas and Ice, but meanwhile we see bottom, ReGen Divine doing this bottom boss for a second time in a row. The top one is going to be scouted and started by Pepegas on Ice. As you can see, Varian did a little dash in there, and we can see it is starting to go down now. But I do wonder if ReGen Divine will make it up there in time. I don't think they will. Vision has been given. They can see it's going down relatively quickly. And yeah, that is boss comfortably in... Oh, Dragon Arrow finding 2. Tom Gen stepping up now. We do see that Arc Valley is trying to get Anduin, does manage to pull him back in. Lightbomb coming up, but no. Jakey will go down before that ever goes off. Meanwhile, we see Archvalley using Isolation. And Bishop missed once again on the wrong side of the enemy team. Tries to hold on as long as possible, but is not able to do so. Meanwhile, we see bottom boss has already gotten that bottom keep. This top boss will get top 4, but I imagine we won't see keep being found here. Tarkin, meanwhile, has spread off from the rest of the team to defend that middle camp. And this boss won't actually kill core at this point. The core will just regen, and the boss doesn't have the health or the damage to get through the armor plates. But you can see it still gets through a decent amount. Come on, Dahaka, you got this. You got this. Kill the camp. Yeah. Well, we can see Muradin is alone. Tom Gen kind of trying to ward him off in logic. Popping down that circle, that good old slowing sands to make sure no one can really step in. So Frenia doesn't quite sort out. Hits logic with the Flame Strike though. Yeah, Flame Strike I think it's called. So a decent amount of damage there. We can see the Storm Talents are through now for ReGen Divine. We do have the Invisible Friends Brightwing. We do have the Contagion on Dahaka. I'm like looking at like, what is that again? I play this hero, I should know. Rewind Muradin. Chromie did pick those Piercing Sands at level 18. And we have the Dragon Arrow upgrade play of the game by Hanzo, giving him that global, which we all see him coming in now. And that is a lot of damage coming out. We see that Rewind was used. Torrance goes for the drag, doesn't able to do so, and actually will go down before the light bomb goes off. They didn't get that shield, they didn't hold on. Meanwhile, Archvalley gets a nice free man silence. We see Sylphrenia was the one pinged. They will go down first, and we see Vivarian going down next. Archvalley keep running downwards as Raynor is also just mounted, trying to escape. Archvalley, unfortunately, did not hit that bush in time to catch up with him, but Wafflecopter is looking for the kill as well. Yep, we're just getting an encore by the looks of it. Bishop Mist drops the Hyperion directly on top of the team. Archvalley chasing the Bishop Mist, getting hit by the tongue. They will be going down pretty quickly. They aren't quite able to stay on top. Archvalley isn't quite able to stay on top of them. However, PP Wallow is, as they jump on top, and that is now likely going to be the core down. Oh, maybe Imperius comes up before the core goes down. But the cavalry is coming. The minion wave is here. Oh, and that will likely be the first game of the series going over to the side of ReGen Divine. Yep, Imperius is just getting there, and we're just like, no. Good first series. But let me have a go on over to the game summary screen. I had gotten rid of this chat, but it has returned, which is moderately annoying. In terms of talents, I'm interested to see that Dahaka went the Gambit talent. It's not something you see picked up very often. In fact, I think it's one of the lesser picked talents on that tier. I know the cooldown reduction of Tongue is usually the biggest pickup. I'm personally a fan of it, but hey, it worked out for Archvalley. Who am I to judge? Maybe I should try using it more. Otherwise, in terms of talents that stand out, not really too much. I'm wondering if Imperius may have gone more done with the Spear cooldown reduction at level 1, but the percent damage in that early game actually did so much to the front line of both PP Wallow and Archvalley. They didn't get as much done as they maybe would have liked, which it does just happen. And looking at stats real quick. Yeah, Brightwing did a lot of healing. Anduin tried to keep up. Jakey didn't quite get there. But I do know, I think I heard that Jakey is not usually a heal player. I'm not entirely sure about that, however. Well, we do see Hanzo did the most damage for the side of ReGen Divine. Pepegas and Ice had the Raynor getting that, as well as Raynor getting the top siege on the side of ReGen Divine. On the sides of Pepegas and Ice. Meanwhile, Dahaka had most siege for ReGen Divine. Yep, so good first set. I'm just going to swap it back over to my map view screen as we have a look together at what the next... And we'll find out together what the next map is as I tick my boxes and just make sure I have everything kind of sorted. So this team 1. What do we have next? Oh, it's Infernal Shrines. I don't cast the series anymore. No, I'm joking. I've already committed to picking it up. I may as well. Infernal Shrines. Pepegas on Ice facing off against ReGen Divine. I'm going to swap on over into the game in just a few moments. But this should be... I like ReGen Divine... Not ReGen Divine. I like Infernal Shrines. Infernal Shrines is a fun one to play. I've just casted it a lot at this point. So, like, obviously, if you do the same thing over and over again, you slowly lose your mind. But it's not lost yet. I am still here. So, on the side of Pepegas and Ice this time, we do have Torrens once again. Imperius, Bishop Mist on the Mephisto. And we do still see Sylphrenia on Kael'thas. So, a double mage comp coming out. Can work well on this map, but we'll have to see how that goes for Pepegas and Ice. Meanwhile, we see Tom Jin on the Dahaka and Jakey once again on Anduin. And on the left-hand side, we do see Absolute Yota on the Brightwing once again, getting that kind of comfort pick. Meanwhile, we see Wafflecopter, once again Hanzo, PP Wallow, this time on the Varian, Logic on Jaina this time, and Archvalley once again on the Dahaka. Right, in terms of talents, we see the Skull Missile build, Unyielding Power. Unyielding Power at level 1 for the... Oh, never mind, I'm going to talk about it later. We see Tomjin going in on Varian. Varian taking a lot of damage. Absolute Yota times the phase shift correctly, actually. Didn't get hit by the Flame Strike, but did get hit by the bomb, unfortunately, for them. But yes, Unyielding Power. We have the Mana Shield Kael'thas. We have Fingers of Frost on the Jaina. Hanzo, Scatter Arrow. Simple Geometry Hanzo, and the Enhanced Agility on Dahaka. You know, see, Dahaka is out pushing Torrens currently. Torrens is going to have a little bit of difficulty keeping up with Arch Valley. I keep wanting to say Arc Valley, which isn't correct. Arch Valley, dodging the spear, hitting the tongue, looking like an absolute champ. I know I'm looking at the offlane a lot. I like offlane. Offlane is the role I play. I wouldn't say it's my main role, but it's a role I play in NGS. Nice tongue coming out from Arch Valley once again. Torrens is not having a good time going into this space Yoshi up here. But I do like the aggressive play by ReGen Divine by taking that bottom neutral camp instead of taking their own safer siege camp. Because it does mean now that they do get something a little bit extra on the map, and they do give it a little bit extra XP, despite there being that experience difference currently, but that's because there are minion waves being cleared at the same time as them safely doing the bottom camp, making sure everyone's available. And we do see PP Wallow is dove in on, and that is a lot of damage coming out. Bishop Mist going back, PP Wallow having to try to run away. They do so. Well, Jakey is in trouble. His team kind of running up away from him, and that will be the first blood going over to the side of ReGen Divine. The team of Pepegas on ice kind of abandoned the healer. The healer, unfortunately, caught in a bit too much trouble and will go down. Will yell timber. Right. I really should, like, I don't know, I should make bets. But it's kind of hard to figure out what to do in these ones, because it's not like, oh, okay, well, first we not get conviction, or... no. Dahaka will lose all his gambit. That could be a one. Dahaka can lose all his gambit. Ooh. We may figure out that in a few moments. But we do see now, because obviously it depends. We do see stun coming out onto Tom Jin. We do see taunt coming out onto Bishop Mist. Bishop Mist trying his best to get out. Wafflecopter gets his Q blocked. And Bishop Mist barely gets out on what was essentially being just one auto attack from either Wafflecopter, Absolute Yota, or PP Wallow. Maybe two, but definitely... They were definitely in kill range, which is great from Tom Jin to actually get in the way of Wafflecopter's Q just in time to save the Mephisto. Right, we do see this objective is getting cleared up pretty quickly. That looks like the Q at level 4 for, yep, Hanzo. Yes, indeed it is. We can see this objective is still in favor of ReGen Divine, but Pepegas and Ice are about to take over. They do have more of a team in position to take it. Wafflecopter hitting a Q straight onto Jakey. Meanwhile, see people Wallow is here, goes around Tom Jin, but eats a flame strike for the air fits. Meanwhile, Sophrenia walks into the Blizzard, taking a decent amount of damage from that, but will not go down. But Jakey doing a decent amount of healing throughout this. Meanwhile, we see Dahaka takes out Imperious Stop, giving the 7 advantage over to the side of ReGen Divine. Meanwhile, Pepegas and Ice are not quite sure they want to give this yet. Oh, yeah, Absolute Yota and Logic taking a decent amount of damage. Meanwhile, I was here, Dahaka. See, we see Dahaka coming in. We can hear Dahaka coming in. But Dahaka is here now. One minion skeleton needed for Pepegas and Ice, and they do get it. ReGen Divine does fall short. Which, very good poke at the end there, Pepegas and Ice not getting caught out anymore. Because they knew they didn't have the Imperial Sword, so it's going to be harder. Meanwhile, we do see Logic getting stunned by the Punisher. Tom Jin following up with the Q, and actually Anduin finishing it off after the Flame Strike hit him from Sylphrenia. And that is sometimes just the danger you're in if the Punisher is near enough to the enemy team, because we see that's a stun. We don't see a follow-up this time by Tom Jin. They weren't quite in position to follow up on the Punisher's stun. But they still get the gate and half a fort, or over half a fort. We do see PP Wallow going in on Bishop Mist. Bishop Mist getting what damage it can. Or Wafflecopter does decide to back out. They didn't have the team up yet. We see Torrens is here now. Absolute Yota is the next one danger. And this fort is still up. It's not going to be up for long, I imagine. There it goes now. But it was up long enough to be at least a decent concern for the side of Pepegas and Ice, as they weren't wanting to full commit to ReGen Divine, as you saw there, until it was done. But by that point, ReGen Divine had backed out. Also, hope everyone in chat's doing well today. Just gonna say that now. You're great. Thank you for showing up. But we do see now it's been cleared, getting close to 10s. Both teams actually pretty much even in terms of experience. Slightly in favor of the side of Pepegas and Ice, but they did get that bottom structure, so inherently be a little bit ahead. Hi, Sylphrenia, I hope you're doing well. it's not actually on delay for once, because I remembered this time to take the delay off before I started streaming, which preferable if I don't need it delayed to like stop stream stuff, because obviously the game has already been played. Otherwise, the KL Fist typing is maybe not the best. Otherwise, the person playing KL Fist typing in the chat may not be the best idea during a live match. But we do see the 10s are now through for the side of ReGen Divine. Pepegas and Ice are also about to pick Fierce up soon enough. We see Invisible Friends, Brightwing. Not Invisible Friends, we see Blink Heal, Brightwing. Adaptation to Haka once again. Dragon Arrow Hunter once again. Taunt Variant obviously was picked up at 4. Meanwhile, we see Ring of Frost on Jaina. It's not a commonly seen one, but it does have some pretty good uses. It can get a lot done. It just does require a little bit of setup sometimes, but Dragon Arrow can be very good for that. Meanwhile, on the side of Pepegas and Ice, we see Cocoon. Oh, there is the Dragon Arrow. There's a Taunt. There's a Bishop Miss in a lot of danger. Does get hit by Ring of Frost. Does get pulled out by Jakey but Jakey does get pushed back in. They're going to desperate pre of themselves. However, it'll be a little bit too much damage for them to hold on. So Frenia and Bishop Mist now getting relatively low as well. Keep in mind that the side of Pepegas and Ice are not fighting with a healer anymore. There is a lot of damage coming out. Torrent's trying to hold on. They did go that Angelic Armaments to survive. They actually managed to hold on and use it aggressively. Logic backing out. Meanwhile, we do see that was a Jurors of Hate that got a pretty big hit. I think hitting about 4 people in the end there. But that'll be that fight done. And just Anduin going down. Not ideal if you are the side of Pepegas on Ice, but not the end of the world. You didn't lose any structures. You haven't lost too much of macro. At the end of the day, it was just Anduin dying, which, again, not ideal, but not the end of the world. Other thing I haven't quite mentioned is Light Bomb Anduin, and the Phoenix picked up once again on Kalphus. But yeah, it's much easier to chat this way. It has a much more, I feel, relaxed feeling when I can just yarn a bit. Wait, that may not make sense. Yarn is kind of, oh, we see Taunt coming out on Bishop Miss. Thankfully, Bishop Miss was about to go back to that clone. Oh, there is a nice stun. Ring of Frost coming out as well. We do see Vigilance coming out, finding Yota. Yota then gets a cleanse off of himself and Logic, but it's a big cocoon. Silence on Tomjin. Tomjin holds on, does a little bit of stun, getting that actually, no stun. The shield was from their W, but they do hold on. Meanwhile, objective is in favor of ReGen Divine. Bishop Miss hitting a Q. Tomjin trying to clear the bottom Shaman. Yes, Shaman. Tomjin taking damage. Bishop Miss looking to get aggressive. Taunt coming out onto Anduin. Jakey getting out of the Blizzard before too long, however. And Archvalley once again going to the backline. However, Archvalley is a little bit on an island this time, taking a decent amount of damage. Wafflecopter and Co. trying to get what they can out. Nice spear by the Imperius on Absolute Yoda. Logic actually taking the brunt of the spear there, though. And we see that is the Brightwing. Then Vagina going down. That's 2 kills to the side of Pepegas on Ice. PP Waller will be the next one to follow. That is now a good, solid 3. And that will be, as I say, it actually is not ReGen Divine. Pepegas and Ice just pushing into 4. It's a very good fight if you're Pepegas and Ice, getting you comfortably, or in a very comfortable position moving forward. You now have the talent. You have, well, not for long, but you definitely have a lot of it at a level, almost 2/3 of level advantage. We see Kalphus being left alone to clear, which may not be the brightest idea, but we'll see what the team of Pepegas and Ice go from here. But yes, as I was saying, it's much nicer to talk, to yarn with people, albeit yarning is a very New Zealand term for, like, chat. So not the common one, but it is a fun one, at least. And we do see now that ReGen Divine is pushing back in. Kalphus is for one caught out by Ring of Frost. However, Durant finds Logic. Logic taking a little bit of damage. Absolute Yoda phase shifting and cleansing. We see objective did go over to the side of ReGen Divine. I do wonder if that was a little bit missed here by Pegasus Ice, a little bit of miscommunication. You know, we see the isolation on the Haka. Archvalley is the one in an awkward situation. Torren's going to see if he can get a spear, but not very. Do have their Angelic Armaments up, but won't be able to find it. Meanwhile, we do have Frozen Punisher jumping backwards onto Tomjin. If this is an awkward spot to fight, you're between now the team of ReGen Divine and the Frozen Punisher. Bishop Miss awkward situation does hold on. Nice double stun by Torrens, and Archvalley is actually the one to go down. Meanwhile, the Punisher itself, the John Cena, gets a double stun, starts punching people, and that will be that fight over. Objective not going to be long up as well. And we do see Tower, even Tower survives as the Punisher was dragged away from the gate and the side of ReGen Divine were forced out. Oh, my throat. Let me just drink. And we do see now that the team of ReGen Divine taking their camp. Pepegas and Ice looking at theirs as well. But Varian is looking to be at least a little bit disruptive. And Torrens sees the enemy team going down. Logic does see that it's low already, so it's only just leashed. And that is a spear onto Jaina. Logic takes a decent amount of damage, steps in, but however, both other... Actually, Bishop didn't quite fully get in. Archvalley appears from behind. Does Burrowing Claws under the stun from Anduin. However, they will not dodge the stun train that is to follow. We see Dahaka going down. Bishop is trying to catch them out. They do find Brightwing with Endurance. Brightwing is going to blink to PP Wallow. Does get stunned by Tomjin, does get stunned by Torrens, and that will be Brightwing going down. The stun chains are very good by the side of, well, the CC chains I should say, very good by the side of Pepegas and Ice. We have what? Initiate from Nubrak, Torrens can follow up, Tomjin can also follow up on his own stun with another stun. We have Sylphrenia who can follow up on stuns with her twisting, no, Neverwind? Gravity Lapse. And we do have the Anduin route as well. Chastise? Yes, Chastise. Which, that's a lot of CC. If you get caught by one of those things at the like kind of beginning of a chain, you're probably not going to move for about 10 years. And we can see that got both Dahaka and Brightwing killed. Oh, and of course the Mephisto has Durance of Hate. That's probably something also very important to mention, as it is it's a pretty big CC if it hits the initial target, and anyone close enough around it, as the Durance spreads out. Meanwhile, interesting to see we have Hanzo going percent damage at level 16. It's not the talent you see often picked. You often see Piercing Arrow picked. And especially, I'm not sure how potent that will be, because even for a tank, Anubrak's not the beefiest of tanks, to say the least. They're a good tank. They have great engage, they have spell armor, they have an activatable shield. But they don't have a big health pool, especially by tanksmen. Because I imagine if we look, 4.8, 4.3, yeah, even Imperius has more health. Which I guess then the argument is Imperius is the reason why you're picking it up. But I do wonder if Piercing is just better in that regard. I'm using Imperius as the example, but Imperius is also very healthy for a bruiser. They will live through a lot. They do have a strong engage, but once they're in, their health and any kind of their self-healing is maybe all they have. Sovereign Armor definitely helps. That 20 armor can make it much harder to die. Dragon Arrow only hitting Jakey. Good kind of positioning by Pepegas and Ice there. Phase Shift comes down. Logic goes down. Meanwhile, Absolute Yota takes a decent amount of damage from it. Torrens stepping up, see if they can get anything on Wafflecopter. Wafflecopter jumps over wall. PP Wallow, however, doesn't have a jump, but can walk sideways. And we do see them dodge the spear from Imperius. Meanwhile, the Mortar Punisher was picked up by the side of Pepegas on Ice. And they'll be pushing up now. And Hanzo has been caught out by the... No, everyone's a little bit early. That's alright, though, as it did force PP Wallow back up to stop the break. It did mean that the Durance missed the Hanzo. However, it somehow hit the Varian. Varian got to live. Hanzo did not. As just being in that cocoon for too long is such an issue. Meanwhile, jump coming out into Varian. We see Tomjin follow up. We see Torrens following up. We see everyone following up. And that is Varian down. Meanwhile, Archvalley is the next one to go in. We see what they can do. Jakey was hit with Isolation. There's probably an important thing to note. Ring of Frost coming out, hitting just the tank of Manubarak. Tomjin, however, pulled out by Jakey. We do see Archvalley taking a decent amount of damage. And Logic may be the target if they're not careful. They are indeed the target. They blow up pretty quickly. And that is GG called by PP Wallow. And that is the second game of the series, going over the side of Pepegas on Ice. GG's. Oh god, I wish I could play heroes as well as these people. But that is that second round. Let me jump over the game summary screen. Hanzo did have the lead in terms of hero damage for the side of ReGen Divine. However, across the board, they didn't quite have as much siege. Like, Hanzo, yes, had most siege, they're beating out Dahaka, but Imperius and Kalphus weren't actually that far behind them, and Mephisto was a good 40, 38, 36k ahead of him in terms of siege. Meanwhile, Soak, Imperius, and Dahaka relatively close as well. Dahaka getting up there in 13k. Imperius not too far behind, honestly, about 200-ish off. Oh, 100 and something off. Healing. Very good healing from both healers. Brightwing once again pulling those numbers. Anduin a little bit lagging behind them, but still doing pretty well. They keep their team alive through a lot of the damage of ReGen Divine, and Pepegas and Ice like, what? Yes, Brightwing was trying, and they were getting these phase shift off. Typically, the kill, like the amount of damage that came in by the time Brightwing got there, meant that even with that extra 30% heal, Brightwing would still not save a person or be the target himself and go down. Which, it does sometimes happen. But it is just kind of something you have to accept. But that will be, I'll actually show talents from that map. Dahaka once again picking up that tongue, which I do still think is an interesting talent, but it is more or less working out from that extra damage, doing a lot to say the least. Mephisto didn't quite finish their quest, but they were getting a lot of siege on the side, and even on objectives, things were dying back quick, where they couldn't get too much value out of their Q. Which, fair enough. You had to set a very good stun blow-up chain, and the side of Pepegas and Ice did it very well. Right, what is map number 3? That is my question now. I don't know, I'm feeling... They're liking, like, larger team fight map. Like, larger maps that have team fights. Volskaya or Garden? I'm gonna guess Volskaya... It is Volskaya, okay. Right on. I'm always a fan of these maps that have played a little bit less, Volskaya being one of them, and we have some compositions here. I think I know kind of where each is going, but it should be interesting to watch, because some of these heroes you don't see, well, one of these heroes you don't see as often, to say the least, but let's get into it, shall we? Wow, I never ticked off that. My UI broke. There we go, let's just fix that, and now we'll switch on over. So, I also should say welcome Tom G to the stream. Appreciate you being here. On the side of ReGen Divine, we have BP Wallow on the Anubrak, Arch Valley on Joanna, so probably an offlane Joe. Wafflecopter on Hunter once again. Absolute Yota is on Decade this time, and Logic back on Chromie that brought them success in the first map. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Tom Gen on the, I imagine, Taunt variant. Jakey as will be on the, I just in my head, Speed Boost. Lucio. Bishop Mist on... Oh my god, I haven't seen this one too much. Maev. Maev is going to be an interesting one to hear. That kind of a beefier front line. Maev may get a lot of resets here. Also, I should mention Torrens on the Malthael. And Sylphrenia again on Kalphus. I think this may be the third game in a row. Well, third map Kalphus that we've played. That's a bad sentence. That doesn't matter. We are getting into the action as both waves are cleared. And both teams are going to be pushing up now. I gravely got my timings wrong. Right, we do have the team rotating down onto Arch Valley. Arch Valley is going to get slapped by Tom Gen. Tom Gen chasing in. I'm going to make a quick edit to something. As you do see now, the side of Pepegas and Ice rotating up. PP Wallow backing out. Wafflecopter as well. Nice hit by them onto the wave. We do see that it's actually interesting that we're getting a mid-bottom rotation from Pepegas on Ice. Not something standard by any means, but I guess you do have Torrens on that Malthael with the what's the word I'm looking for, on a pale horse, so they can get a lot kind of done by moving around, and actually will do very well into Arch Valley. Their clear is better, as well as Joanna isn't known for having, honestly, for a tank, Joe has pretty good damage. But I don't know how well they'd go into a Malthael in particular. Other things I should note is we have Sapphire on Decade. I do like the pickup. That's 80% slow? I think it becomes a 60% slow on the cube. We do also see Scatter Arrow once again picked up by Hanzo. We may actually see Viscerated Arrow hit picked up here. Yes, we do. Meanwhile, Taunt variant is out now. Torrens is in danger. Does flip around Arch Valley. And is actually going to take a lot of damage, but is able to get out with their life. Fortunately for Torrens. Otherwise, we do see the only other stacking happening here is Mana Addict. Alright, let me just do a quick thing. And we do see, actually, very aggressive by Pepegas and Ice taking this support camp. And it looks like all members of ReGen Divine are really not wanting this to happen, as we see PP Wall and Arch Valley pushing in. But Bishop Mist is going to be getting reset soon enough. They do go in. Nope, they do not. And they do just end up, while doing most of the damage to it, they do just end up giving the support camp over to the side of ReGen Divine. Sorry, give me a moment. As we do see the side of Pepegas and I stepping on the objective now. Right, Anubrak. What are we going to do? We're going to slap a little minion. We're going to start walking on down. Vision is given by Chromie with that Time Walker's Pursuit once again at level 1. Nice time coming out onto Tom Gen. Bishop Mist seeing if they can get a pull onto Anubrak. Anubrak, however, not going to preemptively burrow. It looks like they're wanting to save it to make sure they can get a secure kill. But if they need, they do need it up as a escape. Ooh, so Frenia barely catching Wafflecopter with the stun there. Is going to back out, taking a lot of damage. Thank you for joining, Rucker. You can absolutely have a nap. I'm not going to stop you doing that. But I am doing well. I hope you are doing well as well. But it does look like the side of ReGen Divine has muscled Pepegas on Ice out of the objective and will be getting what they can with this. We hear the beeps as Tom Gen steps on up. PP Wallow gets taunted. That's going to be a decent amount of damage coming out onto them. The spell armor just disappearing a little bit too early for them to spear. Logic taking a lot of damage. Does get hit by this Flame Strike at the end. It will take them down. Archie stepping up into the middle of everyone. They do get decent stun and slow. Bishop Mist going in. Not quite finding anyone with their tether. However, they were stunned out of it. And Arch Valley is actually chased out by a turret. This objective right is a good one. This objective? This thing here? This objective? That is a good one, yes. This is a very good objective. But, no. We are going to go back over here. We do see that Arch Valley is still on the objective itself. Tom Gen going to start slapping him. PP Wallow stepping up as well, using that spell armor. Stun, not quite, those spikes, I can't remember what the ability is called. Not quite finding anyone as they do get out. Meanwhile, Sophrenia does back up, so PP Wallow doesn't quite find the stun onto them. Nice hit with the Phantom Knives here. We do see Torrens is in an awkward spot, trying to be a little bit of a nuisance for the backline. We do see Torrens is pushing up now. PP Wallow is a bit distracted by them, and we're getting like a long overtime for the game to say the least. Logic had the Ghost of Vengeance right next to him. Torrens going around Wafflecopter, so Torrens maybe actually be one to go down. There was an assist ping, and that is Torrens going down. Thank you for subscribing, Rocker. I'll read that in a few moments after this fight. As we do have Calfish trying to back out. Sophrenia a little bit too low. Lucio is not able to save him. Doesn't quite have the best healing for it. And there'll be objective being flipped by... Are you B-stepping absolutely Yosa? No, he's just assigned a half. Because he is out of mana, which is fair enough. You have a favorite line boss. I don't know how many other line bosses there are, but they are like slime boss. Oh my god. I appreciate the sub. I don't know how I appreciate the message, but I do definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much, Rucker. We obviously Tom Gen gets dove on by PP Wallow. Bishop Mist goes in, gets a nice double tether. Iron Skin popped by Joanna, so Bishop Mist is going to try and get another damage. They do throw out the Ghost of Vengeance, and we can see that ReGen Divine is forced outwards. Nice stun by PP Wallow. The burrowing charge means they won't go back into the W by Bishop Mist. Arch Valley, however, taking a decent amount of damage, does get the blind off, and we do actually see Torrens had chased down the Hanzo up top. And that's objective going over finally to Pepegas on Ice after what felt like an eternity. It's definitely one of the later picked up protectors, I nearly called it punishers, that I've seen, but hey, it is at least picked up in the end, and with that time scaling that the vehicle such as Protector has, it's going to do a lot of damage. We can see Gate went down pretty quickly. We're not quite sure what to do with it now. The car is just doing a little spin. If they're just getting what poke they can, Logic's taking a decent amount of damage, Absolute Yota as well. We're going to see what poke they can get onto objective. They are going to, not objective, onto the fort. They're going to step up into it now. Bishop Miss getting pushed up onto by PP Wolo. Oh, the vehicle having to sit back again. Protector really not allowed to go into the mall where it wants to. I think it was all the way out. No, it was not. Meanwhile, Bishop Miss goes in. We do see some of PP Wolo. PP Wolo taking a decent amount of damage. However, Kalphus is in the Protector as well. It's not quite that kill potential that they maybe want. They do get another E onto fort. They're slowly whittling this down. They're doing pretty well at doing so. And that will be the wave. Oh, that'll be the Protector done. They got the full gate. They got a little bit of the fort. But in all honesty, that could have gone a little bit better for them. But ReGen Divine had a very good defense of it as well. So. Oh, headache. Ugh. Just a brief little like pulse of a headache. Man, that's not fun. Anyway, we do have the heroics through for both teams now. I kind of completely glossed over that as we have High Five, Lucio, Taunt, Varian, Cage of the Wardens on the Maev. Torrent of Souls? Tormented Souls on Malthael. Sylphrenia finally picks up the jig of the camp. We see teams backing out as Phoenix also picked up by Sylphrenia. I'm just noticing that slowing stance. And Dragon Arrow misses. That's an NA arrow right on there. We do also have the Stairwell Listen Decade Falling Sword Joanna, so I imagine we're going to see the upgrade to it at level 20, but we'll have to wait and see. And we also see Cocoon Nubrak, which we do see Maev getting Cocoon. There is the Falling Sword coming out now. Torrens going in, dropping that Tormented Souls, trying to get what damage they can, but no, that is all that there is going to be. It is possible. That's the fun thing about actually being able to look back at these casts. You can see what you've done and gone, maybe if I do this, maybe I do this, which I know hindsight, but it's a learning experience. And if you have someone like me kind of talking about it as well, despite my like my room temperature IQ takes that I have, it's got, let me rephrase, like Celsius room temperature IQ takes that I have. It's not going to be amazing, but it is going to at least go, okay, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this. Meanwhile, Jakey is harassing PP Wallow. Imagine they do have that burrow up. They do indeed have burrow up. They get out. And that is going to be all they wrote really for that fight. Wafflecopter getting aggressive. Look, I have to specify that. I keep forgetting Americans aren't I don't forget that Americans aren't Celsius. I'm just like, oh yeah, Fahrenheit does exist, doesn't it? I need to really clarify that because like American go, yeah, Fahrenheit. So yeah, room temperature, parentheses, Celsius, in parentheses, IQ. But no, every now and again I do say something smart. Meanwhile, do we see Torrens backing out, which, good timing. The rest of the team of ReGen Divine are showing up. For they didn't show Envision is probably the important thing to know. So, not quite sure where they are, but it looks like the side of... Oh, Sylphrenia really wants to out of a globe. They got a little bit too greedy to get hit by Dragon Arrow for it. Meanwhile, Chromie, the dragon herself, gets hit by a nice stun as well to stop her from doing too much damage. Sylphrenia trying to break out their friendly little Lucio, but no, they will ragdoll up and pop on down. Meanwhile, Jakey's trying their best to escape. The speed boost doing as much as it can, and they do get to escape thanks to that movement speed bonus they get. They did have to amp the speed boost as well. Are you saying that was restrained, that you backed off from that? The funny thing is, if you got the globe, you wouldn't have been hit by Dragon Arrow. Well, at least you wouldn't have been hit there by Dragon Arrow. We do see Tom Gen taking a decent amount of damage now. PP Waller trying to get any damage on they can. Also, welcome PP Waller to the stream. Hope you're doing well this evening. Bad habits, but it happens. Look, I think we all go, yes, globe, and then chase it down. I imagine if PP Wallow for some reason went Regeneration Master, they may have also gone a bit aggressive for globe. But also, Nubrak does have an escape, so they can get a little bit aggressive for those globes. We also see stun coming out of Bishop Miss getting high five by Jakey as he will get out. Meanwhile, Torrens is going into backline. Wafflecopter being ran down, but no, they will eventually have to start backing out. Beginning the healing, what they can, does flip around. We see that is appeal coming through. The nice unstock coming out. Absolute Yoda, they do get the stand well listen off, but they will go down, however, still. Yeah, the high fives have been doing great by Lucio, keeping them both being barely alive, and well, as well, it's unstopped that it gives. But this is the first that Pepegas and Ice are actually going to be able to step on this objective, and it will be Tom Gen, sitting right by that hourglass. So ReGen knows who is there, but they're not going to be able to do too much about it currently, as they don't know where the rest are. Bishop missed, they have an idea of rotating up and hiding somewhere, and now they do know that the camp is taken by Pepegas and Ice. Yeah, you guys, R&D talent's down now, but the thing about you guys finding down talents, you do at least have Chromie who can mitigate that issue. Chromie, with their talents, I'll call it 2 levels early, can at least give you a little bit extra oomph you need to get through things. Speaking about talents, it is even now, so I'm going to hold this open just to see what happens. Nice Vault of Wardens by Bishop Miss, dodging the stun by PP Wolo. I don't think there's quite the damage there to follow up in it either way, but Archvalley is going to get very aggressive. We do see Dragonarrow coming in, finding both Sylphrenia and Bishop Miss, taking a lot of damage from the falling sands. Nice Vault once again. We see Sylphrenia getting relatively low. PP Wolo not able to quite finish him off. We see Cocoon coming out on the Varian. Bishop Miss getting bullying a PP Wolo back in. That will be the Anubrak going down. Meanwhile, Torrens going on to Arch Valley, and Wafflecopter getting a nice Freeman cleave with that. Meanwhile, nice sleep by Absolute Yota. Flip coming out from Bishop Miss. I went in my head, just pick up a potion. Then I remembered, Deckard isn't their ally, Deckard is their enemy. Tom Gen trying their best to body block Joe. Does get hit with a slowing sapness, so it does not quite go as effectively. But they are still able to get the objective over in their favor. And that will be the Protector once again going over to the side of Pepegas on Ice. It looks like they will be finally finishing off this keep fort. As Sylphrenia's like, no, not doing the same thing as bottom. I'm getting this done now before it's too late. And I do like that they're pushing top with this, while the rest of the team does position to get other structures. Because, yeah, this can get more pressure on keep and can get it safer, well, done safer than the other heroes can. But we can see Bishop Miss and Jakey working that way down on mid now. And, well, Torrens isn't going to be done quite as quick because, well, Malfoy isn't known for their speed. Dragon Arrow barely dodged by Jakey. If that was on purpose, well done, Jakey. If not, I'm going to say it was on purpose. You did great there, son. But no, we do see that it was fort going down. We see a second fort going down. Protector is starting to run out of health and starting to run out of time, so they are going to have to start backing it up now. PP Wall just making sure they can catch someone on their way out. It'll be them going down. They do get a little bit of knockback. So Sylphrenia, nice movement moving downwards. So PP Wall expected moving back to the healer. That's a lot of damage coming out to Bishop Miss. They do use Vault of Warns, and that is actually Lucio hit with the Cocoon this time, but Hanzo will be the first one to go down. You know, we do see Arch Valley taking a lot of damage. Absolute Yoda does... I keep saying Yoda, like... But no, Absolute Yota does take a decent amount of damage. Isn't able to get caught out by anything else. But we do see that will be a pretty concise fight there from the side of Pepegas and Ice. They got what they wanted. They got what they needed. And now they're going to see if they can get a little bit more. We do see a burrow coming out. Absolute Yosa only hitting the Varian, being woken up pretty much immediately by PP Wolo's stun. And we're running out of time to really get anything done while the Hanzo is down. You're like, sure, they're getting a little bit of wave pressure, they're getting a little bit of building, leaking a little bit of a structure, but not too much. So it looks like they are just going to start invading the camp. Hanzo up in 5 seconds now. And they're going to get what damage they can. I do like the pickup of the increased spell armor by PP Wolo here, because it is a pretty heavy spell damage team comp. And it just does keep you that much healthier. Also, I think it reduces cooldown. I can't quite recall. Oh, there is cooldown reduction, yeah, up there. I guess if with the ticks of Living Bomb would also feed into Shitness plating, I imagine. So yeah, it's pretty good pickup. Anyway, we do see Storm Talents picked up by one team and one other player. We do see Mixing Fire Lucio, Glory to the Alliance on the Varian's banner. I don't know what my stuff is called. Shadow Orb Vengeance on my... Look, if you could comfortably tell me what each of these Shadow Orbs were, just by looking at the picture, I give it to you. I guess I could figure out as Vengeance, because now look at it, it does look like a mini Warden in a circle there. But yeah, we also see No One Can Stop Death on the Malfoy, which, correct? It's such a good talent to, if you die, oh no, I died! Guess I'm coming back immediately! And then we do have the Flamethrower on the Calvis. And thing to note, the one other player who does have their Storm Talent is Chromie. They do have Piercing Sands up, which may actually wreak havoc as we're moving into this later game. As now, suddenly, Chromie can only hit really one hero with those Qs at first. is now hitting 2, maybe 3 heroes per Q. Like that, just both TomJin and Jakey taking a little bit of Q action there. And that is suddenly a lot more pain coming in, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult for the side of Pepegas and Ice, as they can't group quite as much. Taunt coming out onto PP Waller. PP Waller being pushed back in. They do give a burrow straight into the potion, so they do get a hold on. If they didn't have a potion, they may have died there, in fact. So, good placement of potions by Absolute Yota, and well done PP Waller being close enough where even after taunt and a full damage combo coming out, you're barely able to hold on. Fortunately, they didn't have Bishop Mist chasing after them, as that may have been a disaster. But they are backing up now. They're looking to get the C objective going soon enough. And it looks like Malfoy is going to start running Arch Valley. No, they're just going to get soaked. Just stop any push that anyone wants to do. And we'll have to see where it goes. Storm Talents will be through momentarily for the side of ReGen Divine, as they are going to be getting soaked and getting ready for objective. In terms of stats, we can see both Varian and Anubrak doing a lot of tanking. Actually, Joanna pretty much just behind there as well. Both like 60k, then 47k per Joanna and Varian, with the 60k being on Nubrak. But there is definitely a lot of damage coming out, as the side of Pepegas and Ice have been controlling the flow of the game more or less. You can see that they are just going to back out. Malfoy isn't with them. They don't want to take anything too risky. Don't 4v5 now. You don't want to throw. So I will talk about talents real quick. We do see the Unending Potions, refilling potions. Bottomless Flask on the Decade. We see Logic and Wafflecopter now caught in an awkward position. Logic getting out just... No, they have to pop the time out and they'll be in danger. We do see a nice double stun coming out from the Hanzo. That is the Falling Sword coming out. We do see that it was also the Heaven's Fury getting those hits off, but won't quite save Chromie. Chromie goes down. Well, Absolute Yota is in a dangerous spot. However, PP Wallow a little bit more so, as they're running out of health. And Absolute Yota has been found by Torrens. Torrens interrupts the Yota. Meanwhile, we do see Hanzo going down over here. Arch Valley being ran at, not quite going down. But now Yota is between a rock and a hard place. They do take a lot of damage. That is 300 health left. They do get a healing potion off under themselves, but no, they will go down in the end. And now we just get Pepegas and Ice pushing. Be like, you know what, we don't need a protector. Let's just go for it. And yeah, they probably can just go to it. It is just the tank and, quote, offlaner tank holding here. And that's Fort going down. We see now they are pushing into keep. Who's going to catch them hands? Torrens nearly does, but not quite. We do see that it is a lot of damage coming out onto TomJin. There is that Falling Sword. Arch Valley, not quite able to get out this time. We do see Burrow coming in from PP Wallow. Actually moving out of the range of Flame Strike in time. But will get to their core to live another day. Meanwhile, we see Chromie is up now. They did quite early in that fight, so they will be able to do a little bit of damage here. And they will try their best. Bishop Mist actually getting hit with his Sand Strike immediately. However, PP Wallow burrows in, taking a little bit too much damage. We'll go down to that Malfoy poison, I guess. A little bit. Malfoy consuming of soul is the thing. Yes, Logic taking a decent amount of damage. Does have Ice Block. May stay in at full 5 seconds. Does not, as it does make you a little bit predictable. Meanwhile, the core will be going down. And that will be the game. And the series going over to the side of Pepegas and Ice. 2-1 in the end. Fiction, I always have word problems, I'm going to be honest. But yes, good aggressive finish and very good burst once again by the side of Pepegas and Ice. They did very well at that. The later games of the series, the first game you can see they were still wanting it, but I'll chat about that in a little bit. Let me change over to game summary screen. Jakey had most healing this time. First time they were able to beat Decade's Absolute Yota on the healing this time, but they're both on healers that they weren't playing the rest of this series. Yota obviously playing Brightwing the other games, and Jakey playing Anduin, and it may have paid off for Jakey. That speed boost saved him quite a bit of times, which, fair enough. Meanwhile, we do see, in terms of damage, Kalfist had for most of the side of Pepegas and Ice, while Hanzo had barely beat them out by 3k for the side of ReGen Divine. I'm going to have to tick this. Tick this. Come on, game. There we go. Just update the score so I remember. On that, we do have decent amount of tanking. We're on by all 3 tanks, so to speak. They all took a decent amount of damage. But once again, we had very good CC chains from the side of Pepegas and Ice. That was really what was the killer here. Like, yeah, sure, they had Malfoy who could double soak and such. They had all this aggression and such. But that kill chain that they had, that was stun, stun, stun. Well, taunt, stun, tether, or tether, taunt, stun from Chaos, or whatever kind of order it was of that, did a lot. And once you added in mixing fire to the mix where, well, suddenly you have 50% less healing. So even if Brightwing wants to save someone, it becomes much more difficult for them. And that will be kind of all they wrote for that fight. Well, yeah, there were still some good fights without Hanzo getting the Dragon Arrows, and Deck had still got some very good sleeps. And Ubreak as well, getting those few combos up. And we can see there's a few kills picked up off of those. But the sheer damage and, like, peel that was coming in from the side of Pepegas and Ice was a little bit too much. Looking at talents briefly, anything that stands out, I don't understand how Maev works, so I'm going to, like, ignore that Maev's talents exist. I was trying her a little bit. I do like this blink stuff that she can do, but I just don't know how she works properly to, like, actually ever give any kind of reasonable talk of, like, yeah, this is why this, and this. The Hanzo picking the Titan Killer, whatever it's called, Giant Slayer over piercing, I think is interesting. It was doing a decent amount of damage for them, but I do wonder if the other one would have been more appropriate, especially considering both Varian is decent helpful, but Malfoy is very squishy for a bruiser. Their main sustain isn't so much their bulkiness, but it is their self-healing that they provide themselves. Meanwhile, Lucio makes sense. Everything else kind of makes sense to me from what I understand. I do like Sapphire picked up. That's probably one of my, like, yes, hell yeah. Sapphire, let's go. Anyway, let's roll to the map view screen, see how the series ended out, and I'll then get everything ready for the next. So in the end, it was a 2-1 to Pepegas on Ice. ReGen Divine did win Ultrac Pass that first map, but in the end, it was won over by the side of Pepegas and Ice. They did give it reverse sweep, finding both the Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Industries very, very good maps for them, especially with their CC chain and that just kill pressure they had. Which, I guess we've got to be a bit careful about that now, because if you've revealed what you like doing, I guess you've been doing that whole season, but if someone is able to kind of counter that, even something such as like an Oof or a Medivh, that becomes a lot harder. And I can see you guys don't actually have you don't know what your next round opponent is. So I'm like, I was like, oh, they're going to be facing this, or this, and this. They won't know yet, but whoever it is, it may be a difficult fight. It may be an easier one. We don't know. I don't know what the playstyles of Heavy Slaps or House of Chairs is. But that is going to be it for me for this series. I'm going to go on a quick break while I organize the next series and just get a little bit more drink. But I'll be back as soon as I can. I'm just going to get everything organized, so catch you all in a few moments. Bye for now at least.